Well, good afternoon and welcome back to the shop. So sorry you haven't seen me for a while, but basically it's been beautiful outside, so I've been taking advantage of the short Canadian summertime. Our summer is maybe 10 weeks, 2.5 months. After that it starts getting cold again. So when it's nice out, I'm going to be outside and not in the garage, so I apologize for that. But basically I had thought I was first and goal. Ready for paint, or getting ready for paint. I took my block out today with a 180 and I just started to block sand the deck lid. And I immediately found that I still have not flattened this out. Now you remember this deck lid, it's in a previous video of mine. It's brand new, right? This is a new piece, and yet it's terrible. It's not welded around, or it wasn't welded around the perimeter, so it moved. The superstructure was not in contact, or nor did they use any binding or bonding material. So the skin moved separately from the superstructure. So I had to cut the superstructure. I had to insert a bonding material between the skin and the superstructure so that it didn't move. In this area here, the superstructure was so far away from the body panel, I had to use low expanding foam in order to make sure that that panel didn't move. So I did all of that work on this, and I had flattened it, but obviously now that I'm working with it on the vehicle, I found it wasn't flat. So I started burning through. As you can see, I got a couple of spots that I touched through. So as soon as you touch through the metal, you have to stop sanding. Even if you haven't sanded the low spot, if you hit metal, you can't go any lower because you're just gonna make it worse. So I've obviously had to break the filler out. So I put the filler on, I came here, started sanding, and I realized I did not like the way the extension fit against the panel. I mean, I thought I did before, I really don't. So I took this all apart, I cleaned this up, I had to add more filler here because I needed to raise this up a bit more in order so that it was flush with the extension. This whole area in here didn't fit properly, so I had to redo that as well. So I've been really just starting to sanding here, working on this, and I've come to the realization that, as I said, I'm on the 30-yard line. I've been given some flags on this. I am not first in goal. I am going to take my block, I'm going to go over the entire vehicle one more time, and then I'm going to respray in 2K in the primer. Now, I've got a gallon of primer, I'm going to use it all. I'm going to put on 2 or 3 coats of primer on this. Might even use a reducer to thin it out so that I can flatten it really well. But if I can get this into 2 or 3 more coats of primer after I go through this one more time, I think then I'll be ready to paint. I do not want to rush the paint on this car, because if I do, I'm going to be mad at myself for doing that, and I'm just going to paint when it's ready. And if that's a month from now, or if that's 6 weeks from now, so be it. Now, the bucks I had built work really well. I took the front fenders off, I put them on the buck. The buck is working great, it holds the fender in place. I can stand up here now, I can work on the fender independently of the car. So I can start doing all of the work on that as well, and the hood. So really, it's going to be 2 or 3 or 4 days of sanding, and then only then am I going to then reshoot the car, reshoot it in the 2K, and then maybe we'll be back first and goal. But until then, hope you enjoyed the short video, and I'll talk to you later.